assalamu alaikum, and a very good morning to all the people tuned in to watch World This Morning on Pakistan TV. I happen to be Eesha Rehan, and with me I have the one and only Muzzammil Ali Khan. And today it is a bright, sunny Tuesday morning. The sun is shining down upon us, but do not be fooled by the ray of sunshines because the cold can definitely creep up on you. So make sure to grab an extra layer to cover yourself up, and make sure to grab that cup of coffee to warm yourself up, and make sure that you are safe and sound during this winter. We have a lot of things to unpack for you, a lot of news, a lot of stories to highlight for you on the show today. But first things first, how are you feeling today, Muzzammil?
I am feeling great. Now, one question that goes through my mind every morning is, are you a coffee or a tea person?
Oh my gosh, I am a tea person.
You're
Who likes coffee?
The energy is definitely black tea. Is it black or is it the mixed tea?
Oh no, it's mixed tea with a lot of honey, a lot of sugar, a lot of maple syrup. You know, sugar it up for me.
All right, so talking about the world that is moving forward at a very fast pace. Developments every day on the international scene, and the upcoming Shanghai Cooperation Organization is in the scene now. Moscow, highlight of the hour. Pakistan would be represented by Deputy Prime Minister Senator Mohammad Dar on this occasion. The two-day summit has kicked off, where the Council of Heads of Governments will meet. Now, we are talking about Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, and numerous other states converging onto this meeting. This meeting will discuss a lot of important points, specifically the action plan for the upcoming season, the division of budgets, and also the gathering comes amid growing emphasis on economic collaboration. Regional security would also be the topic for this meeting.
You know, definitely. Thank you so much for highlighting that, Muzzammil. And when we speak about global developments, one thing is at the forefront of issues that needs to be addressed, and that is the Gaza crisis. Pakistan has always stood firmly with the oppressed. Today at the UN Security Council, it prepares for a decisive vote on the future of Gaza. During a fragile ceasefire, around 266 Palestinians have been killed. Children's hospitals have been flooded, and humanitarian aid has been blocked. The latest version of the resolution now mentions a credible pathway to the Palestinian self-determination and statehood, depending on the reforms within the Palestinian Authority. And this definitely opens room for the international community to come together and maybe vote for this resolution for the peace of Palestine. And we hope that every drop of peace is achieved.
Definitely. And when we talk about world peace, conflict comes to mind. And the recent development on that front is that Sheikh Hasina Wajid, daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, has been sentenced to death in Bangladesh. 15 years of rule comes to an end in a manner that the world was, if you have a deeper insight into politics and how things unfold, was expecting. But for the most part, the 15-year-old rule did come to an end, but with the lives of 1,000 individuals who were killed. And these riots came up during the quota protests, in which 30% of the quotas for public and private jobs, also in the government sector, in universities and in jobs for the families of the fighters who fought in the Bangladesh war. That specific quota was the last thing to give it a push. The falling veil from Sheikh Hasina Wajid's 15-year-old rule, where the military then decided not to put up any further action against the youth of the country who were protesting, and that was the last push for Sheikh Hasina. She fled to India, and India right now is protecting yet another criminal that has been convicted by the state itself.
Definitely. A lot to unpack here, a lot of lives affected over the 15-year rule. But before we dive deeper into these stories, we will be taking a short break, so make sure to stay tuned. All right, welcome back to all the lovely people who stay tuned to watch us. We are eager to share with you some interesting developments regarding Pakistan. Pakistan is once again leading the global stage at the forefront of leadership. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Dar was invited at the prestigious SCO Council of Heads Government in Moscow, the second highest decision-making forum where the countries decide issues regarding the economy, trade, connectivity, and Ishaq Dar will be representing Pakistan and shares Pakistan's stance on regional and global issues. To help us unpack what this really means and why this is very significant, we actually have an interesting guest who will be highlighting this for us. He happens to be former Ambassador Ali Server NAQVI. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
All right, good morning. It's great to have you here. So the SEO Heads of Council Government meeting is happening today. What do you think? Why is this very important? And Ishaq Dar is representing us. Please signify
for us the significance of this specific meeting in terms of the Council of Heads of State converging in Moscow. We are facing threats when we talk about regional security here on this side of the world. How can Shanghai Cooperation Organization, this summit, and the member states that are participating in this Council of Heads of Government in this meeting push Afghanistan into curbing terrorism that is being exported from Afghan soil? Can SCO act as a deterrent?
Yes, that's a good question. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization was established in 1996 with three principal objectives. One was to combat terrorism, the other to combat extremism, the third was to combat separatism. Then it was as it was known at that time, the Shanghai Five, and that meant Russia, China, and three Central Asian states. Later on, it was expanded. India and Pakistan were made members in 2015. And the scope of Shanghai Cooperation Organization has also expanded to include trade, connectivity, etc. But the principal purpose of the establishment of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization was to combat terrorism, extremism, and separatism. So we will be raising this issue at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Moscow, where Mr. Ishaq Dar, our Deputy Prime Minister, will be leading the Pakistan delegation and urging the members of the organization to impress upon Afghanistan to avoid allowing its territory to be used for terrorism against other states, particularly Pakistan. This is something that is within the ambit of the charter of the SCO, and we will be within our rights to raise this matter there. As far as the principal members are concerned, Russia and China are also involved in talking to Afghanistan to deal with this problem. And Pakistan has taken a firm stand in regard to the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan operating from Afghan soil and has conveyed it to the Afghan Taliban government. So this matter must be highlighted in the SCO, and I think the Foreign Minister and Deputy Prime Minister is going to raise this whole issue in a big way at the Moscow summit.
All right, thank you so much for highlighting that. And what's very interesting about this summit is that it brings together a lot of countries. As you mentioned, there's China, Russia, Iran, Qatar, Egypt, a lot of people coming together. How does Pakistan benefit from being in such a strengthened and diverse bloc?
Yeah, you see, there are two categories. There are the members of the SCO, which are now, I think somewhere around 12 or 15, whatever. And then there are the observers. So the countries you have mentioned includes members as well as observers. The observing countries are participating. They might become members later on, and the SCO may expand further. But at the moment, it is basically Pakistan, India, Russia, China, and the Central Asian states. Afghanistan was also considered. Iran is an observer, and there is Qatar, and there are Egypt, and so many other countries. So the SCO is a growing organization, and it has expanded from the original 5 that they started with.
Definitely, definitely. You've definitely hit the nail on the head with explaining that to us. And what particularly excites me about this summit is that the Council of Heads of Government provide guidance on trade, finance, and economic connectivity. Do you think this will pave Pakistan's way into a path for shared connectivity, especially with the Euro-Asian economic pathway being open now?
Yes, you're quite right. I think since the SCO has adopted many other areas for its mandate, for its charter, which includes trade and connectivity, Pakistan has a great opportunity at the SCO summit to foster trade links with the member countries and also with the observer countries, and to establish connectivity in terms of communications, in terms of rail and road links, and air and connections, etc. So I think this is a very opportune moment for Pakistan to benefit from.
Right. And one last question before I let you go here, sir. That is strategic cooperation. When we talk about strategic cooperation and strategic growth, SCO's primary focus is business, trade, and connectivity. A little explanation, just a short question on strategic growth. What does this mean in context of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization?
Yes, well, yeah, this is also one of the areas, a very important area of cooperation, which is strategic cooperation. And in strategic cooperation, Pakistan has the lead. In this region, Pakistan is close to many of those countries which are aspiring to be members. Of course, India also is a very important member of this organization. And in terms of strategic cooperation, I think there are limitations because we don't want to have any strategic cooperation with a country like India. We have had conflict and wars with them. So we would not look at SCO for this purpose. Our interest would be in the combating of terrorism, of pressing Afghanistan to stop allowing the use of its soil for terrorism against Pakistan, for terrorist groups, militant groups. And our interest would be in trade and connectivity, where we can have good avenues of cooperation with many of the countries which will be present in Moscow for the summit.
TV, sir, it was a great time having you here, and these questions that you answered so well give us a perspective into Pakistan's stance on the international stage. Now, we've got a lot more lined up for you all. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back after this short break. All right, so welcome back. And as the news continues, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, as you all heard from former ambassador, that Pakistan is moving forward with the agenda of peace, connectivity and business, and the world is converging when we talk about member states of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. This bloc represents the major part of world's population. Now, when we talk about peace and this bloc, it definitely tells us that the world wants peace right now, and the center of that discussion is Gaza when we talk about peace. Now, updates on Gaza before we bring on a guest that deep inside of this matter. I would not like to reveal his name just right now, because as soon as we get him here, I will introduce, and the questions that you all are thinking about would be answered, specifically when we talk about the peace plan in Gaza. United Nations Security Council has passed the US-backed resolution on Gaza, now authorizing an international stabilization force, which Pakistan was also planning to be a part of, and outlining a potential path to an independent Palestinian state. And when we talk about an independent Palestinian state, this vote marks a critical milestone for the fragile ceasefire. As you all know, Pakistan has time and time again in the United Nations General Assembly stated its stance loud and clear about the Middle Eastern policies.
All right, and thank you so much for sharing that, Muzzammil. And in recent developments, let's talk about Trump has shared a post on his Truth Social platform congratulating the world for what he called the incredible vote of the United Nations Security Council. He highlighted that the resolution will see a board of peace created, which will be chaired by him. He said the board will include the most powerful and respected leaders throughout the world. Trump also thanked all members of the Security Council, including those that abstained from the vote, as well as other countries that he said strongly backed the effort, including Qatar, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Turkey, and Jordan. Israel's historical and cultural heritage has suffered extensive damage throughout Israel's 2-year bombardment, with local authorities reporting that more than 20,000 rare artifacts ranging from prehistoric eras to the Ottoman period are missing or looted. It's actually very horrible about the atrocities which have been committed by Israel. The head of Gaza's government media office told a Turkish newswire that the Israeli army has systematically and extensively damaged the archaeological sites, describing that it is part of a policy aimed at erasing Palestinian identity. According to the official data, more than 316 archaeological sites and historical buildings in the Gaza Strip have been fully or partially destroyed. I think this news is very, very devastating, as it definitely highlights how Israel definitely wants to wipe the slate clean and erase any heritage regarding Palestine, right? I mean, think about all the olive trees, the fresh, rich olive that grew in Palestine, the beautiful buildings, the scenic activity, all disrupted, all just plundered and destroyed. Imagine the children's lives that have been impacted. And speaking about impacted lives, let's talk about how during the fragile ceasefire, around 266 people have been killed. This means that the ceasefire did not actually take place. Bombardment
It wasn't respected
continues.
by the Israeli side.
It definitely was not. It definitely, the hospitals were flooded.
I'm sorry I'm cutting you off like this, but have you seen how America was pushing for the ceasefire? Netanyahu on the other side with his cabinet did not respect the ceasefire that was being pushed by its friendly state, that is the United States of America. And as you talked about the olive trees and all, it's not just a land grab movement. It's the killing of a people that cannot defend themselves with hard power. They're grabbing, Israel is grabbing Palestinian land, and also what Israel is doing is erasing the culture. You talk about watermelons, how they represent the colors and the symbols, and how the significance of the watermelon is related to the recognition of Palestinian statehood and the culture of Palestine. The green, red and white, and the green, red and the black colors.
Definitely.
They are also trying to erase the culture, rename cities, towns and places, and in name of archaeological projects, digging up underneath the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Oh my gosh. Definitely, and this means that they want to wipe the slate clean and ethnically maybe cleanse the area,
definitely.
Cleanse them of their identity, cleanse them of their culture, their values, their memories, their history. I mean, what can be more atrocious and soul-shattering than this atrocity taking place that we are witnessing? And we hope that this US-passed resolution by the UNSC is going to help prevent that.
And is respected.
It is definitely, we do hope so. However, we do not have many hopes for it, as Israel completely rejects this, with Netanyahu saying his position has not changed one bit. And on the other hand, Russia was pushing a draft of its own, stating that it was giving a stronger support to Palestinian statehood. We will be unfolding what this means for us. And let's talk about how Palestinians have been killed, children, hospitals have been flooded, and humanitarian aid has been blocked. Imagine all of these starving children, the women, the injured people not getting enough medical supplies, not getting enough medical equipment to survive this devastating downpour of bombardment upon them.
Well, medical journals, the most popular around the world and well-respected journals such as Lancet, give numbers that are devastatingly higher than the numbers that are right now circulating the mainstream media, talking about mortalities and whatnot. And to dive deeper into this, as I mentioned earlier, that our esteemed guest here to discuss this topic today that is at the core of the heartache that the world feels when we talk about Palestinians and people worldwide. His Excellency Dr. ZUHAIR Mohammed Hamdallah Zaid, Ambassador of Palestine to Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum, sir, and good morning. Thank you for taking your time out here at Pakistan TV. And the question at hand is the United Nations Security Council and the resolution that is being passed. Now, what is the Palestinian perspective on this?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. In general, what we want as a Palestinians, first of all, to stop, to end this war, to have a permanent ceasefire, to save our people, to guarantee flow of all the needs for our people there in Gaza. It means to ensure that all the aids will enter to our people there. And at the end, to reach the permanent solution. It means to reach and accept the inalienable rights of the Palestinian people and to have their own state in their own land, which is in the border of 1967. This is what we want as a Palestinian. This is what we expect at the end of this temporary agreement. And this is the wish for the Palestinians to have.
All right, Your Excellency, thank you so much for highlighting that, and it is an honor to have you here on the show. Can you please explain to us what mechanisms were adopted by the United Nations that outlined to guarantee humanitarian aid and access, as well as the reconstruction of Gaza during this US-backed plan?
Mentioned in the 20 points of Trump, which adopted yesterday by the Security Council or early this morning, have three phases. The first phase that we should guarantee the permanent ceasefire. The second phase should guarantee also the aid to be accessed for the Palestinians and to reach them the aid that they need, everything, and to start the rehabilitation and rebuilding of Gaza Strip. The third phase, which it should reach the and achieve the two-state solution. This is, in our point of view, the process for all this agreement or all this resolutions. This is what we want. This is what all our brothers, the Muslim and Arab countries, had give us the support to achieve.
Definitely, we all hope and pray to see a more peaceful Gaza with kids smiling, the land flourishing. And this brings me to the question that how will this US peace plan be implemented? Will there be any consequences for the parties who violate this US-backed draft?
guarantee for this plan to be implemented is the states whom guarantee the parties. From our side as Palestinians, we have all the Arab and the Muslim countries, and we fully trust them. Let us take, for instance, the Pakistani's UN ambassador, our brother Asim Iftikhar. What he mentioned in his speech is fully accepted by us as Palestinians, and we trust all of them. The forces for stability or stabilization force will also take its responsibility to keep peace and to ensure that the Israelis will not violate the agreement. Also, United States will guarantee Israel from its side. And here the main issue, how to monitor, the stabilization force will monitor, and the two sides, Arab and Muslim countries, to guarantee the Palestinians, and from the other side, the Americans should guarantee the Israel to be committed to this process.
Right. Now, Mr. Ambassador, these numbers, when we talk about the casualties and the deaths and the injured, we see around 69 to 70,000 people, the reported casualties, but medical journals around the world are putting the number at a much higher level. Now, Lancet is one of the most respected journals, medical journals, and Lancet mentions categorically that for every one direct person killed by Israel, there are 4 indirect deaths that have taken place. So they put the number somewhere in the ballpark of above 250,000. These aren't official numbers, but they tell us a significant story, an important story, and that is of the repeated violation and atrocities committed by the Israeli side. So talking about the peace force that would be established there and Pakistani participants taking part in that peace force also, are you seeing any mechanism that is being put into place to prevent casualties and deaths and violations of the ceasefire?
Mr. Wong explained all the deaths, all our martyrs had been killed by the Israelis. If this direct or indirect, starvation killed people, a lack of medication killed people, lack of water killed people, the cool weather without having warming clothes or shelter killed people. So all this as a result of the Israeli atrocities and aggression. It should be very clear, and they are responsible, and they should be held responsible for this, and we should trail them in front of the international courts. Regarding the other issue, let me be very clear. We have the Arab states, we have the Muslim states, we have the stabilization force, which will monitor the ceasefire and will should report to the board of peace. And this board of peace, where the United States will be the president for this board, should take its responsibility and should impose on Israel. And to be also honest, United States in the side of Israel. But when United States wants to achieve something or to impose in Israel something, they can do this, and the Israelis can accept what the United States will ask them to do. So it's now the responsibility of the United States. In general, as a Palestinians, our aim is very clear. We should have our rights. We should have our own state. We should be liberated. We should have our freedom. We are not less than any people in this world. We accept this because our priorities now is very clear. We want to stop this war. There isn't any alternative. The voices that we are hearing from some factions from the Palestinian side is just a rhetoric voices that they do not give any alternative, and they in some point we can also blame them that they had cause to reach such a situation. So it's the time for us to stop war. We should stop war. We should use whatever we can to find the way to stop this war. And this is a good opportunity to stop the war. They are speaking about 2 years as a temporary rule. At the end, the Palestinian Authority should take responsibility in Gaza Strip. The security forces of the Palestinian state, the Palestinian people should take responsibility. And at the end, this process should lead to two-state solution. Without this, there will be a chaos. We will reach the same situation that we are in it now. So stability, security will not be achieved without having the Palestinians their full rights.
All right, Your Excellency, that was very rightfully pointed out, very accurately pointed out. And as Pakistanis, it definitely breaks our hearts when we look at the atrocities committed by Israel. Which brings me to my question regarding how do you think Pakistan has stood by Palestine during this trying time? Pakistan has been at the forefront at the global stage, making sure that Palestine receives the peace that it needs. How do you think we have come together to achieve this?
All the time, very clear, unshakable, having unwavering and unshakable stance. They are strongly stands with the Palestinians. Always I'm saying, Pakistan sometimes not stand beside us or behind us. Pakistan takes step forward and stand in front of us, defending the Palestinian people and the Palestinian rights. We highly appreciate the support of the government of Pakistan, His Excellency, the Prime Minister, the Army of Pakistan, the people of Pakistan. All they are stand strongly with us. And to be more clear, what the stance of the ambassador, your ambassador, Mr. Asim Iftikhar in United Nations, very clear and very honest speech, represent the Palestinians, and we fully accept all the content of his speech.
All right.
Right.
All right.
Now, Mr. Ambassador, when we talk about Gaza peace and the peace in Middle East, of course, Palestine is at the center of this discussion, and peace in Gaza is an absolute important thing to be pinned down when we talk about peace in the Middle Eastern region. And upon this, President Donald Trump has tweeted, and what he mentioned in his tweet was, he called it the incredible vote of United Nations Security Council, and he highlighted that the resolution will see a board of peace created, which will be chaired by him. And also what he said was that the board will include the most powerful and respected leaders throughout the world. Now, this is a big category of people. Of course, Pakistan is going to be a part of it. Trump also thanked all members of the Security Council, including those that established from the vote, as well as other countries that he said strongly backed the effort, including Qatar, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Turkey, and Jordan. When we take President Trump's remarks and his tweet into account, what do you see the part that is being played by him and the Muslim states that are mentioned in keeping peace afloat here in Middle East?
It should be very clear. As Palestinians, we have beside us all Arab and Muslim countries. This is the guarantee for us to achieve our goals. This is the support that strengthens us as Palestinians. President Trump spoke different times in different concepts and languages, contradicting all the time his statements. Let us hope that the Arab and Muslim countries have been influenced him, and he accepted their remarks and their ideas regarding the best solution for this issue. In general, we have, for instance, some positive interactions from his side regarding justice, regarding solving and reaching peace in our region. This is what we really expect and what we really want as a Palestinians. We do not want and we do not run or doing whatever just because we are liking violence and liking wars and want just to sacrifice. No, we are a people like other peoples in this world. We like life. We want to live in peace. We want to be independent. We want to have our freedom. This is what we want. If the President of the United States have the will and really want to reach peace and to have the support from the world and from all Arab and Muslim countries, this will succeed. It means it depends about the will of the Americans at the end. To say that we fully trust the United States, no, we should see things positive on the ground. If this will happen, we will come, and we will come in general, the orientation, the will to achieve peace. The plan that they put temporarily is lack of many things, but at the end, when they spoke about the two-state solution, when they spoke about the inalienable rights for the Palestinian people, their right for the determination and independence to have their own state, this is very good, and this is what we are seeking for.
Right.
So
yes, Your Excellency. Yes, Your Excellency, that was highlighted very, very accurately, and we as Pakistanis stand by you. We will keep standing by you. Pakistan, and may peace prevail. Pakistan will always stand by the oppressed and fight for justice. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for taking out your important time and being here on Pakistan TV on World this morning. It was such an honor and such a pleasure to have you here with us.
Right. And, you know, when we talk about peace, Bangladesh is developing really quickly and fast on that scape. Gen Z protested. 1,000 people passed away as a result of the push that was made by Hasina Wajid to silence the dissent. But it did not, and she escaped and fled away out into India. India, yet again, is protecting a convicted felon. When we talk about crime and criminals, Hasina Wajid has been convicted and sentenced to death and life imprisonment, right?
It has been, Muzzammil. Let's highlight for our audiences what exactly happened. A Dhaka court has awarded the death sentence and lifetime imprisonment to the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on charges of crimes against humanity and violent crackdown on student-led protests in Bangladesh last year. A dramatic fall for a leader long shielded by Indian patronage. Hasina fled to India in August last year after the massive protest led by students rocked the whole country. Around 1,400 casualties were reported, mainly by students, and it was also verified in a video that showed Hasina ordering to shoot protesters on sight, which led to the outburst. To actually speak more about this issue and unfold this for us, we actually have a correspondent of PTV World, of Pakistan TV. He happens to be Ali Andaz. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Ali, are we audible to you? All right. We're establishing contact with Ali Andaz. When we talk about 1,400 casualties that have, you know, unfortunate for such young people to pass away like that, but they did push out somebody who wasn't treating the country right. And when we talk about that push, Hasina Wajid had maintained a 30% quota for people who have families or broadly linked to the families of the freedom fighters, which they called. She also passed derogatory comments about the protesters and the kids. And we've established contact with Ali Andaz now. Ali, what are the recent developments when we talk about Hasina Wajid and what has been transpiring in Bangladesh?
Well, Muzzammil, we all know that yesterday Sheikh Hasina, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, who was toppled last year in August, she has been sentenced to death. And not only her, the Home Minister of that time and police chief, they have also been sentenced to death for crimes against humanity. As our views already know, the circumstances under which her government was toppled and the brutality which Sheikh Hasina's government unleashed on those protesters. The world saw them, the Bangladeshis suffered them. Around 1,400 people were killed. And yesterday, the special tribunal in Dhaka sentenced the former prime minister to death. However, having said that, she's in exile. The verdict was issued in absentia. She's in exile in India, and she has no plans to return. And the families of the victims have demanded that this verdict must be enforced. And Bangladesh has already requested India to extradite the former Bangladeshi Prime Minister, to hand over the former Bangladeshi Prime Minister to the Bangladesh so that they can carry out this verdict. However, India has not properly responded to this request made by the Bangladesh. As we know, the history where Sheikh Hasina was very close to New Delhi, and because of its closeness to New Delhi, its Bangladesh relations with other regional countries steeped to a level where they had hardly any relations with the regional countries. Since her ouster, we have seen Bangladesh coming out of that shell, and it has revived its relations with regional partners, especially its relationship with Pakistan. So these are the current happenings taking place, and this, more importantly, all political parties, all stakeholders in Bangladesh have welcomed this verdict, this death sentence that has been issued to Sheikh Hasina. She had been a brutal had held a brutal rule in Bangladesh over more than a decade that she was in power. She imprisoned her political opponents, and the karma has finally met her.
Ali, for highlighting all of those important facts that needed to be shared with our audiences. And not just this is one of the most important rulings in the history of Bangladesh. Despite this, we know that India is refusing to extradite Hasina despite Bangladesh's repeated requests. How do you think this is going to unfold for relationships between the Indian side and the Bangladeshi side?
The relations, because of her escape to India, to New Delhi, after she was toppled, and her refusal to face the charges against her, the relationship between Dhaka and New Delhi are at their lowest ebb. So there are already, since her ouster, there are already tensions between Dhaka and New Delhi, skirmishes along the border. But now this matter involves diplomatic ties, border ties between two nations. And I think New Delhi must understand the fact that they cannot allow one person to dictate their relation with an...
Right. Right, Ali. Thank you
so
for giving us the insights into this important matter when we talk about Dhaka and Bangladesh now. And, you know, as a matter of fact, I think we should go towards someone who possesses the knowledge and the experience and knows the timeline. We are going to delve into two separate topics and then take his opinion on a fun little question as well. We are joined by the esteemed senior journalist here, JAVED SIDDIQ Saab. He joins us here in JAVED SIDDIQ Saab. He joins us in our studios here at Pakistan TV. Thank you for taking your time, JAVED Saab.
Pleasure to be with you.
It's such an honor to have you here on the show. We have seen how Sheikh Hasina was sentenced to death by a court in Dhaka. How do you think this is crucial for the Bangladeshi people and the country, especially diving into a more democratic era?
Yes, I think Hasina Wajid was a persona non grata for the people of Bangladesh. And she ruled Bangladesh with an iron hand. And last August, last year, the youth of Bangladesh rose against her tyrannical rule. And they wanted to overthrow her government, which was, so callous and so ruthless to the feeling of the people of Bangladesh. And the people of Bangladesh wanted democracy, human rights, and they wanted their rights to be given to them, which were being denied by her though she was an elected leader, prime minister, and for the last 20 years, but she was totally insensitive to the needs of the people of Bangladesh.
Definitely.
So there was a huge resentment against her rule, her tyrannical rule, her undemocratic rule, and the way she was handling the situation, and the foreign policy as well. So I think that uprising by the youth, the young people, was quite justified, and she ordered her army and police and security forces a huge crackdown on those young people who were protesting undemocratic rules. So therefore, as a result, this was a very cruel way of handling the situation, and almost 1,400 young people died in it. So, and she fled to India after this.
Definitely.
And Dr. Yunus, as you know, is the advisor now. He's in charge of the situation in Bangladesh. And the International Tribunal for Crimes of Bangladesh has awarded this sentence of death to former Prime Minister Hasina Wajid. And the Bangladeshi government has demanded India, where she is taking refuge, political asylum, to come back. And the Indians are not cooperative at the moment, and they are very reluctant. But I think they have to return Hasina Wajid to Bangladesh to be held accountable for whatever she has done to the people of Bangladesh.
Definitely.
But the primary, I mean, the lawyers who were representing Hasina Wajid, they said that unless she surrenders to the court, there will be no leniency for her. The basic condition is that she comes back to Bangladesh and surrenders to the court, and then the trial can take place. So there's a huge lesson for us, for the people at large, that if a democratic leader elected by the people of the country becomes a tyrant and becomes, becomes a dictator, people will rise against
And
her
that is
or him.
such an important message that you've highlighted, a very good backstory that you enlightened our audiences with. Thank you so much for being here and shedding your words of wisdom. I think everyone easily understood your points and what this session was all about. With this, we are going to wrap up World This Morning. We dived into some interesting topics today. Make sure to catch us live tomorrow, and make sure that you stay warm and happy, and catch us live tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Bye.
Goodbye.